What would you do if you got back 336 hours? It is the number of human hours that AI gave back to my business in 7 days. Most entrepreneurs hear a number like that and immediately jump to the question of how. But that's not the question I want to start with. What would you do with the time back that no one talks about? You are not short on ideas, you are not short on vision, and you are not short on the desire to build something that matters. You're the CEO. You are the CEO. That is what you do. You are visionary. You are the owner. You are the founder. You are not short on ideas. You're short on time.
If getting hundreds of hours back each year could completely change the way you grow your business, then this episode is one you don't want to miss. We'll break down the mindset, the systems, and the strategy behind buying back your time with AI.
Hey, welcome back to The Digital Shift. I'm Jessica Green, CEO and founder of the Self-Made Hub, business strategist, mentor, and your favorite unapologetic systems nerd. And if you are brand new here, I'm also so glad you're here. Stay with me today because this is one that's going to hit a little different. I want to start this episode with a question, and I want you to actually sit with it, not just hear it, but feel it. What would you do if you got back 336 hours? What would you do? Not someday, not eventually, not in a perfect world. This quarter, what would you do this quarter with 336 hours of your time? A real number. It is the number of human hours that AI gave back to my business in 7 days. And the dollar equivalent of that work across the 5 roles it would have taken to do it manually, $47,000. Okay. I'm not sharing those numbers to impress you. I shared them back in episode 74, and I have talked about them since, and I will keep talking about them because I think that most entrepreneurs hear a number like that and immediately jump to the question of how? How did you do it? What tools? What systems? What does the tech look like? And those are really great questions and important questions. And we're going to get to some of that today. But that's not the question I want to start with. The question I want to start with is the one I think that matters most. It's what would you do with the time back that no one talks about? Because here's what I know about you. You are not short on ideas, you are not short on vision, and you are not short on the desire to build something that matters. You are the CEO. That is what you do. You are visionary. You are the owner. You are the founder. You are not short on ideas. You are short on time. I know because I'm you. And that right there is what this episode 84 is all about. So I want to make sure this number is real for you because 336 hours is easy to hear and hard to feel until you translate it into something very concrete. Am I right? So 336 hours is 42 8-hour workdays. I don't know how many hours you work in a day. I tend to work more than 8. I would love to get some of that time back, and that is why we are working on this. So 336 hours actually equates to 42 8-hour workdays. It's almost 2 full months of work for one full-time employee. It is every single Saturday for the next year. 2 full months of work for one full-time employee, or it's every single Saturday for the next year. That's how many hours we're talking. And that's what was sitting inside the manual work of our business, work that AI is now handling automatically. And I'm telling you what, since then, we've scaled this even bigger. So that was the first 7 days. That's what we built in the first 7 days and saved us in money and in time. And I want to tell you something specifically, what was inside those hours, because it's not abstract. This is real work that was being done by real humans manually every single week, or work that was not getting done, right? A full financial audit and P&L analysis, the kind of financial clarity that most business owners spending months try to piece together from spreadsheets and scattered platform dashboards. A live CEO dashboard built from scratch, pulling real-time data from Stripe, tracking ad spend, monitoring MRR, churn, lifetime value, all in one place, all updating automatically. Discovery call and student call automation. Every call logged, summarized, actioned, and routed without a single manual step from anyone on the team. 495 Go High Level sub accounts audited and cleaned, finding the errors, correcting the data, making sure every decision going forward is based on numbers that were actually accurate. 700 plus tags cleaned, corrected, and organized, because messy data is invisible money lost. You're making bad decisions when your data is wrong, and you're often, you just don't even know it, right? How about an AI chief of staff running daily ops briefs every morning at 6 a.m. for our entire team? So I start every single day already informed, already prepared, already ahead. Full team AI integration across every major business function. Our ads manager, our ops lead, our CRM management, our student support, every seat at the table completely elevated. And here's what I want you to hear about all that. This was not done by a team of 5. It was done by one CEO who decided to stop doing things manually. According to a recent study, McKinsey Global Institute, AI and automation have the potential to free up the equivalent of 30% of work hours in most business functions, with the highest impact in data processing, reporting, routine operational tasks. For a solopreneur or a small team like us, that 30% is not a statistics, it's a lifeline. And come on, can I get an amen? So think about what happened to manufacturing when assembly lines were introduced. Before the assembly line, building a single car took one skilled craftsman working alone for days or weeks. Every bolt turned by hand, right? Every part fitted manually. The assembly line did not make cars worse. It made them faster, more consistent, and available to far more people. What AI is doing to business operations right now is the same shift. The craftsman does not disappear. She directs the line, and the output multiplies. And that's the world we're operating in right now. I'm just going to be honest. And the entrepreneurs who recognize it, who stop resisting and start building, are the ones who will look back in 3 years and say, I am so glad I did not wait. Here's the $47,000 question. Okay, let's make it personal. The numbers are interesting, but the numbers are not the point. The point is what those numbers mean for you. And here's the truth. I want this to sit with you for just a little bit. So right now, today, there are things running in your business that are costing you thousands of dollars, right? A week in manual time. Tasks that could be automated, processes that could be systematized, work that AI could be really handling while you're sleeping, but they're not automated, they're not systematized, and AI is not handling them. You're the glue, right? And what that means for you is the real cost. It's actually this. Hey, quick pause before we continue, because if you're listening to this podcast and thinking, I love the strategy, but the tech still feels overwhelming, you're not alone. That's why Tech Savvy School exists. Tech Savvy School is where entrepreneurs learn how to actually build the systems behind a scalable business. Funnels, automations, workflows, and tools explained in plain language, step by step. No guessing, no duct taping platforms together anymore, just clarity and confidence with the tech that supports your growth. This podcast helps you think differently about your business. Tech Savvy School helps you implement what you're learning. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck on the tech side of things in your business, visit techsavvyschool.com and explore the trainings. All right, let's get back to the episode. Every hour you spend doing what AI could do is an hour you are not spending on work that only you can do in the business. The strategy that only you can set, the vision that only you can cast and hold and communicate, the relationships that only you can build, the room that only you can walk into and change. That is not just productivity observation. That's a business ceiling. A study by Asana's Anatomy of Work Index found that knowledge workers spend only 27% of their time on the skilled strategic work they were actually hired or built their business to do. The remaining 73% is consumed by coordination, status updates, repetitive tasks, and manual processes. Nearly 3/4 of your working hours gone to what should not require you as the CEO or the founder of your business. Let me tell you about a specific moment that made all this completely real for me. When we built the AI chief of staff, the automated ops brief that lands in my inbox every morning at 6 a.m., something shifted that I did not expect. It was not just the time saved. It was what changed about how I started my days. Before that system existed, I started every morning behind. Before I even, made a cup of coffee or got my water and started my workout, I was already playing catch up, digging through dashboards, piecing together numbers, trying to form a picture of where businesses actually were, where it was before I could make a single decision about where we were going that day. Some mornings that took 30 minutes, some mornings hours. And on the bad mornings when something was broken that I didn't even know about yet, it took all morning. Now I sit down, I open up one document and the picture is already there. Ad performance, funnel conversion, revenue tracking, team priorities, flags that need my attention, everything already assembled, already waiting, prepared while I was sleeping. I stopped starting my days behind and I started every day already ahead. Think about the difference between a pilot who has to manually calculate altitude, airspeed, fuel, and weather data from raw instruments before ever making a decision versus a pilot in a modern cockpit where all of this is synthesized into a heads-up display in real time. Both pilots are equally skilled, but one of them is doing mental math while flying. The other one's just flying. The AI-powered operations brief is your heads-up display. It does not replace your judgment. It removes the mental load between you and the judgment. I'm going to ask you the question again, but this time I want you to make it specific, okay? What would you do if you were not spending that time? You already know the answer. You've known it for a while. There's a version of your business, a bigger version, a calmer version, a version that actually looks like what you set out to build. I know this because I'm that girl. And the only thing standing between you and it is the manual work that is sitting on your plate right now. The $47,000 question is not about money. It's about what becomes possible when the work is no longer on your plate. So let me get specific now, because I think one of the reasons entrepreneurs don't act on this is that the manual work feels invisible. It's so woven into the daily rhythm of the business that it stops feeling like a choice and starts feeling like just the way that things are. And it's not. And I want to show you exactly where to look. There's 4 places where manual time holds and hides in your business. Almost every growing business has this, okay? And once you see them, once you can name them specifically in your own operation, you'll never be able to unsee them. So are you ready? Hiding place number 1, financial reporting and data analysis. This is the one most entrepreneurs are the most behind on because we just put it off, and the most reluctant to admit it because you're supposed to know all your numbers, right? You're pulling numbers manually from Stripe, from your ad dashboard, I'm laughing because this was me just a few short months ago, okay? From your CRM, from your email platform, copying them into a spreadsheet, trying to build a coherent picture from 4 different sources that were never designed to talk to each other. And the result is one of 2 things. Either you spend hours every week doing financial reporting that should be automated, or you stop doing it altogether and start making decisions without the data. Both of those cost you money. According to a recent report done by Sage, 40% of small business owners say that bookkeeping and financial management is the most time-consuming, non-revenue generating activity that they hate doing. Not marketing, not sales, not operations, finance, admin. 40%. And most of it can be automated. Man, did I learn that quickly. Think about a doctor who has to manually take a patient's blood pressure, every temperature, oxygen levels, and heart rate, one at a time, separate devices, and a record, each one by hand. We have to put the data in before she can even begin to assess what's wrong. That's what's running your financial reporting. When you're doing it manually, that's what it looks like. A modern hospital room has one monitor that tracks all of those vital signs simultaneously and flags anomalies automatically. And that's what an AI-powered financial dashboard does for your business. You stop taking vitals one at a time and you walk into a room where they're already on the screen. Hiding place number 2, lead follow-up and CRM management. This is one of the most expensive and it's the most common. Leads are coming in, interest is real, people are raising their hand and saying, yes, I want to know more, and then nothing. Or a follow-up that comes in too late, or one message, then silence. Because here's the reality of a manual follow-up. It depends on a human remembering to do it, having the bandwidth to do it, and doing it at the right time. And humans, even great ones, are inconsistent. Systems aren't. The AI isn't. This is a good one. Research from the Harvard Business Review, okay? It found that companies that respond to a lead within 1 hour are nearly 7 times more likely to have a meaningful conversation with that lead than those who wait even just 2 hours, 7 times. And most small businesses are responding in, I believe the stat is 47 hours, if at all, because the follow-up is manual and the human is busy. Every lead that went quiet because the follow-up was late or missing, that was not a lead who was not interested. That was a sale that belonged to you and then went to someone else. In an automated follow-up system, that part, it will fix the gap and it'll fix it permanently. Hiding place number 3 is client onboarding and delivery. And here's the one that surprises people the most, even when we say it, because most entrepreneurs who have gotten to the point of having consistent clients feel like the onboarding is under control. But under control and automated are not the same thing. Under control usually means the CEO knows what to do and make sure it gets done. Automated means the system knows what to do and make sure whether the CEO is available or not. When the standard lives in your head, it scales with how much you're available, right? When it lives in the system, it scales with the business. Man, that's a game changer. I'm telling you, that will be a game changer for you and your business. So think about the difference between, let's say, a franchise and an independent restaurant. The independent restaurant might have a phenomenal chef, but when she's off on Tuesday, the experience is completely different, right? The franchise, they've documented every recipe, every process, every standard. The experience is consistent whether the founder is there or not, because the system holds the standard, the recipe, not the person. AI-powered onboarding is how you become the franchise version of yourself, your standard, your voice, your process, baked into a system that runs every time for a different client without you manually carrying it. All right, hiding place number 4, team management and operations. The last place time hides, and the one that sneaks up on you as the team grows. Team briefings you run manually every Monday, the progress summaries you write by hand, the status updates you chase through Slack threads, the decisions that wait because you are the only one with the full picture. All of that, the coordination layer of running a team, is manually intensive. I know, because I was the one doing it all. Consistently time consuming garbage that you don't want to keep doing, and almost entirely automatable. The AI chief of staff model I run inside of Self-Made means that my team wakes up every morning with the information they need to move, and I am not the information bottleneck anymore. The system distributes the intelligence, and I spend my time leading, not briefing. Our Monday team meetings have been game changing since we implemented AI. It is a completely different way to run than we were running prior to it. According to research from Reclaim AI, managers spend an average of 21 hours per week on coordination, status updates, and admin communication. More than half of a standard work week is spent on that. When that work gets automated, that time does not disappear. It gets redirected to the highest leverage work in the business. We are scaling with AI, baby. The hours are not missing. They're hiding inside the processes you've not yet automated. All right. I want you to picture something with me. It's a Tuesday morning. You wake up to an alarm telling you you're already behind. But because you actually are ready, because you've implemented AI, you're not waking up to an alarm telling you you're already behind. You make your coffee, you sit down, and before you open a single tab, the ops brief is already waiting for you. Everything you need to know about where your business stands, revenue, leads, team priorities, flags, already assembled, already clear, already done. You spend the first 30 minutes of your day thinking about strategy, not chasing numbers. Your leads from yesterday already in a follow-up sequence, already being nurtured, already moving toward a decision without you sending a single message. Your new client who signed up on Friday, already 3 days into their onboarding, already accessing their training, already feeling taken care of without touching a single step. Your team already informed, already moving, already supported by the systems you built, not waiting for you to brief them. And you're spending your time on the work that only you can do, conversation that only you can have, the idea that only you can shape, the relationship that only you can build, the vision that only you can see clearly and lean towards. It's not fantasy. That is what AI-powered operations actually looks like. That's what's available to you right now. So think about the difference between, let's say, a CEO who runs a company where everything flows through her. Every decision, every communication, every process dependent on her personal attention, versus a CEO who has an organization that she's built where the systems hold the standard and the people move independently toward a shared goal. The first one works in her business. The second one leads it. Both of them might be equally talented, but only the one that's building something that can grow past the limits of the person's time is the one who wins. AI powered operations is what moves you from the first kind of CEO to the second. This is not about working less, it's about finally working on the right things. Now, how do you find your $47,000? Let's bring this down to earth for the average business owner, because I do not want you to walk away from this episode inspired but stuck. I want you to walk away with 3 specific moves you can make this week. Okay. So do a time audit this week, starting tomorrow, or honestly, starting today. I want you to track everything you do for 5 days. Now, I'm going to say something here because I noticed this last week because we've just been deploying AI in a lot of pieces and parts of our business. We did a time audit that was manual. We've done it 2 or 3 times now to just gauge where my time is going, where Natasha's time is going, where our team's time is going. Now, just this last week, in some AI powered operational things we're implementing in the business, we now have built a skill inside of Claude that we can have it go find, because we have it attached to Slack. We have it attached to our Go High Level. We have it attached to everything that we do, our Notion project management. We can now deploy the skill to go figure out where I am spending my time. I don't have to manually track it. What a game changer is that? I said the first time I did this time tracking as a CEO, I was like, I'm spending more time tracking my time than my time on my tasks. This is ridiculous. Now we're going to do it automatically. And I haven't even deployed it yet. And I cannot wait till I do. And I'll come back here and update you guys on how that went. So it doesn't need to be in a complicated system. A notes app works, a piece of paper works, just capture it. But now you can actually capture it with AI. Every task, every meeting, every time you switch contests, everything you did manually to make you think, even briefly, there has to be a better way to do this, right? At the end of the 5 days, you should look at your list with one question in mind. What on this list is manual, repetitive, and could have been systematized or automated? And the first thing I'm going to say is the actual time audit itself could have been, and that would have saved you time alone. So we'll share more about those details coming soon. But that's your list of getting to $47,000. It's not hiding in some advanced AI strategy you've not learned yet. It's hiding in the stuff you're already doing, the stuff that runs on you instead of on a system. A study from Zapier, which is like a connector app between apps, which we don't use anymore because we use Go High Level and everything's in there, so you don't need Zapier. But a study from Zapier found that 76% of workers believe automation can free up their time to focus on more meaningful work. But only 24% of businesses have actually implemented automation beyond the most basic level. The gap is not knowledge, it's activation. And most entrepreneurs know they should be automating, but far fewer have taken the first step of auditing what to automate. Move number 2, rank by impact and start with one thing. Once you have the list, do not try to automate everything at once. That is how good intentions become abandoned projects. Instead of it, like, ask one question: which task on this list could be automated? If automated, would give me the most meaningful time back. Not the easiest one, not the most impressive one. It's just the most time consuming one for you. Maybe it's the follow-up sequence that's currently living inside your head, coming out inconsistently. Maybe it's the financial reporting that takes 3 hours. Maybe it's the client onboarding. Maybe it's the team meetings and keeping up with the staff reports every single week. Pick one, go deep, build it until it actually runs, then move to the next one. Think about clearing a path through a dense forest. You do not clear the whole forest at once. You pick a direction. You cut one path down. You walk it until it becomes a road, and then you branch off from there. Trying to clear the entire whole forest at once means you make small cuts everywhere and end up nowhere to walk. One complete path beats 10 partial ones every single time. Your automation strategy works exactly the same way. And move number 3, get support and stop going it alone. This is one I feel most strongly about because I said it in episode 82, and I'll say it again here. The knowledge exists. The tools exist. The systems are learnable, but learning them alone through free content, YouTube tutorials, and guesswork costs you the one thing you were trying to get back: time. When you learn inside the community with mentors who have already built what you are building with a structured path and real implementation, the timeline compresses dramatically, not because you're smarter with support, well, you are, but because you stop making the expensive detours. The goal is not to understand AI integration. The goal is to have it running inside your real business. Those are 2 completely different things. Now, let me come back to the question I opened with. What would you do if you got the 336 hours back? You already know, you knew the moment I asked it. There's a version of your business you've been trying to reach. I said this before. The calmer version, the more strategic version, the more impactful version, the version where you are leading, not just executing, where you're building, not just maintaining, where your time goes to the work that actually changes things for your business. The only question is whether you're going to build the system that makes that possible. The hours are not gone. They are waiting for you. And your $47,000 is there. You just have to go find it. If you want help finding it, if you want to stop staring at the list of manual tasks, actually start automating them with real support and real systems, that's exactly what we do inside of the Self-Made Hub and Tech Savvy School. Book a call directly with our team. We'll look at your business together and find out where your time is hiding and map out the specific system to get it back. Or you can head over to our website right now, www.self-made.biz. The link is in the show notes, and you can book a call with us right now to talk about your business, your strategy, and how we can help you get AI and automation plugged into all of your systems. And my friends, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you're getting value from these conversations, don't let this be the only episode that you listen to. Every episode of this podcast is designed to help you build a smarter business, one with real systems behind the scenes, not just ideas, motivation, or hustle. We break down what's actually working right now when it comes to automation, content, follow-up, and scaling without the burnout. If you want to see how all of this comes together in real life, I highly recommend watching the Self-Made Hub demo. Inside the Self-Made Hub, you'll see how entrepreneurs turn content into leads and leads into conversations and conversations into consistent sales using simple automated systems that don't feel overwhelming or cold. You can watch the demo anytime at self-made.biz/demo. Then queue up another episode, because the shift doesn't happen from one conversation. It happens when you start connecting all the dots. And I'll see you in the next episode.